All right, Algebra 1, we are doing 4.4 notes today. We're going to graph inequalities. So an inequality is something that doesn't have an equal sign. It has like one of those gators that we worked with last semester. So before we get into graphing, we're just going to give you like a little helpful cheat sheet or a graphing key. When our gator is facing away from the letter by itself, so we would read this as y is less than. We're going to shade below. And since it's less than, it's going to be a dashed line. Now, when the gator is eating the y, we would say y is greater than, and then the rest of the equation. So we're going to shade above it because above is greater than, and it's still a dashed line. Now here we have y is less than or equal to. So less than we're going to shade below. And since it can be equal to, we have a solid line. And then y is greater than or equal to, we are shading above it with a solid line. Let's see it in action here. We want to graph the line y is less than negative 3x plus 4. So we're just going to pretend that this is an equal sign when we plot our y-intercept and our slope, just like y equals mx plus b. So our y-intercept is 4. Our slope is negative 3. So we're going to go down 3 and right 1. Now, we have a y equals, so we have our 2 points. Once we have our 2 points, we're going to use our y equals and go back to this graphing key. Y is less than. So y is less than, we're going to shade below it with a dashed line. So we have a dashed line and we're going to shade below it. And that would be our answer. So you're going to have infinite number of possibilities that you could plug in for x and y to satisfy that equation, but we just want to graph it and then shade it. Here in our next example, we want to graph negative 2y minus 1 is less than or equal to 5. We need to get y by itself. We need that y equals mx plus b form. So let's get the negative 1 out of there. Let's add 1 to both sides. Now we have negative 2y is less than or equal to 6. Let's divide by negative 2, get that y by itself. But remember, for inequalities, when we divide by a negative, we have to flip this inequality sign. So now y is by itself, but the gator flips, so it's y is greater than or equal to negative 3. So here is our line at y equals negative 3. Since it's greater than, we're shading above, and the equal to is a solid line. Thanks.
Yeah. That's all I have.
And then our last equation, we want to figure out if the point 2, 1 is a solution to the inequality y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 3. Two ways that we could do this. We could either graph it and see if the point is in the shaded region, or we could just plug in the point to our x and our y. Over here on the left, we're going to graph it. So our y-intercept is 3, our slope is down 2 over 1. It's a solid line because it can be equal to, and we're shading below because it's less than. Now we're just going to plot the point 2, 1, so that's right 2, up 1. This black point is not inside the shaded region, so it is not a solution. Another way we could do it, we could just plug in the x and the y to the x and the y. So we have y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 3. We're going to plug in our y and our x, so 1 is less than or equal to negative 2 times 2 plus 3. And eventually we see that 1 is less than or equal to negative 1. Well, that's not true. 1 is bigger than negative 1. So again, it's not a solution.